This is the GIS Evening Report for Friday, July 19th, 2024. I am Chrisanne Mitchell. In the headlines, another sizable donation made towards restoration efforts in Carriacou and Petite-Martinique. We'll have the details of this story and more after the break.
Welcome to the 47th meeting of the Conference of Heads of Government of CARICOM, hosted by your new chairman, the Honorable Deacon Mitchell, July 28th to 30th, St. George, Grenada. The Conference of Heads of Government, comprising the leaders of member states, serves as the highest governing body of the Caribbean community. CARICOM is a multilingual community made up of 20 countries, 15 member states and 5 associate members, and is home to approximately 16 million citizens. CARICOM stands on 4 pillars: economic integration, foreign policy coordination, human and social development, and security. It holds ultimate authority for negotiating treaties on behalf of the community and establishing relationships between the community and international organizations and states. The conference oversees the financial arrangements necessary to cover the community's expenses, though it has assigned this responsibility to the Community Council. Typically, decisions within the conference are reached through unanimous agreement. Join us as we begin the countdown for the 47th regular meeting of CARICOM Heads of Government in Spice Island, Grenada, with incoming chairman, the Honorable Deacon Mitchell, and the whole of CARICOM represented. Let's join the conversations and prepare the shifting perspectives on pertinent and pressing issues that affect our Caribbean community.
Welcome back. Another significant donation has been made towards restoration efforts in Carriacou and Petite-Martinique. Antillean Group, through Antillean General, this week presented a check of $50,000 to National Disaster Coordinator Dr. Terence Walters in the presence of Minister for Finance, Honorable Dennis Cornwall. The check was presented by Chairman and Managing Director of Antillean Group, Mr. Kenny John.
We have a long legacy of being kayaks. My father, who was the founder of this organization, was born in Leicester and went to Leicester Rosary. The company maintains its business affiliation with Carriacou and is probably one of the larger insurers in Carriacou and Petite-Martinique. We're therefore proud, as part of that legacy, and being 30 years of the beginning of this organization, to donate $50,000 to that effort.
Minister for Finance, Honorable Dennis Cornwall, applauded Mr. John and members of the Antillean Group and Antillean General for being good corporate citizens.
I am pleased to accept this donation to the people and government of Grenada to ensure we can rebuild Carriacou and Petite-Martinique. And again, I know a lot of our businesses on Grenada are doing the best in terms of helping us rebuild Grenada, and nothing is too small, so we encourage other partners in the public sector to continue donating generously to ensure that we can build the wherewithal to make sure we can rebuild Carriacou and Petite-Martinique and the north of Grenada in the most speedy time possible.
Dr. Walters is grateful for the financial donation, which he says will aid in the restoration process.
The National Disaster Management Agency, on behalf of Government of Grenada, expresses sincere gratitude to Antillean for this contribution toward the rebuilding effort in Carriacou, and we look forward to continued collaboration with the entity as we address this rebuilding reconstruction effort in Carriacou and Petite-Martinique. So again, we say thank you to Mr. John and Antillean.
The Royal Grenada Police Force has received a check in the sum of $25,000 to aid in the restoration of the Carriacou Police Station, which was damaged by Hurricane Beryl. The donation came from the Foreign Missions Board National Baptist Convention, USA. The check was presented to Commissioner of Police Don McKenzie in the presence of other senior officers of the RGPF by Grenadian-born Reverend Terence Griffith, who holds the position of Executive Director of the Foreign Mission Board of the National Baptist Convention.
It is both an honor and a privilege on behalf of President Jerry Young of the National Baptist Convention to present a donation of $25,000 to the government of Grenada to assist in the restoration efforts on the island of Carriacou following the devastating impact of Hurricane Beryl. This is specifically for the roofing and other work in the police station. And let me just say here that initially we were going to commit this money to the rebuilding and restoration of schools. My good friend, Mr. George Worm, we've been friends for ages, called and advocated on behalf of the police.
Reverend Griffith says the National Baptist Mission is committed to assisting countries in times of need.
We recognize the critical role that the Hillsborough Police Station plays in maintaining law and order. You could build everything else, but if you do not have law and order, everything will crumble. And that is why we have committed to supporting you to restore law and order. We hope that this contribution would aid in the necessary repairs and restoration of this vital institution, allowing it to continue serving the people of Carriacou with excellence and dedication.
Commissioner of Police Don McKenzie says Carriacou Police Station is a vital institution serving as a backbone for the safety and security of residents of both islands. He assured Reverend Griffith that the money will be used for the purpose for which is intended.
It is with profound gratitude and heartfelt appreciation that I, on behalf of the men and women of the Carriacou Police Station, the Royal Grenada Police Force, and by extension, the government of Grenada, to extend our deepest thanks to this generous donation of $25,000 towards the repair of the Carriacou Police Station, which suffered significant damage during the passage of Hurricane Beryl. This substantial contribution must not be seen merely as a financial gift, but rather as a testament to the enduring spirit of solidarity and support from you, Reverend Griffith, and to your organization, the Foreign Mission Board of the National Baptist Convention.
The damage the building sustained, Commissioner McKenzie says, presents significant challenges for the officers in the execution of their duties, and thanked Reverend Griffith for their generosity. We take our break. Stay with us.
Violence is never the answer. Let's talk it out. We need a safe space for our children to grow up, so let us respect each other. You see this little light of mine? I'm gonna let it shine. I'm gonna keep it burning, for the children is looking on. So let's take advantage of the gun amnesty in full effect until July 30th. Remember, the answer is love. A message from the Ministry of National Security. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. I'm gonna keep it burning.
The gun amnesty remains in effect until July 30th. A message from the Ministry of National Security.
Welcome back. The Ministry of Agriculture's Veterinary Division made its first trip to Carriacou post-Hurricane Beryl to distribute animal feed to farmers. 900 bags of feed procured by the government of Grenada will be distributed to the farmers who have all suffered significant losses. Leading the distribution drive was Chief Veterinary Officer Dr. Kimon Cummins, supported by veterinary doctors Dr. Wayne Sylvester and Dr. Dexton St. Bernard, along with Agricultural Assistance Officer in Carriacou, Lisa Walker.
I know it's really tough trying times for most of the farmers here, but we also have to be cognizant of the fact that agriculture plays a significant role here in the, not just food security, but to the economy. And I believe in terms of, in regard to building back, I think we should also consider agriculture as a priority. Small ruminant, pigs, poultry, right? And the idea is to ensure self-sufficiency and be able to feed themselves. I think it's a good start, and I believe, as I said prior, that this should be given priority also.
Disasters are now, natural disasters are part and parcel of life in the islands, and multiple sectors have been affected, including the agriculture sector. So we're in this together, and the intention is for us to build back each sector, right? So we'll encourage farmers to, in spite of the losses, the personal losses, the losses in their farms, to stick with their methodology, stick with what works for them, and let us work together to build back the agriculture sector. And carriacou plays a major role in what is breeding stock for Grenada, carriacou, and Petit Martinique, exporting livestock in some cases to Grenada, and being a source of meat, reliable source of meat. So we wouldn't want to lose that stock. We wouldn't want farmers to get disheartened and leave farming. So just trying to be there for them, supporting farmers through this, and knowing that we could get through this disaster.
Wilfred Western Noel, one of the major poultry farmers on the island who had 1,200 layers and 200 broilers, says he has lost 800 birds along with a number of water tanks and pens.
The night of the hurricane, I lost that 200 broiler one time, right? Then the layers, when the pen thing out, some of the layers, the pen fall on the layers, right? Some was laying and plus the young ones. So right now I just remain just barely around 600.
So this is alternative housing for them?
Yes, in the yard, just like that. Rain, thunder, lightning in the outside.
The assistance by the Ministry of Agriculture to provide farmers with the assistance of feed in the first instance, Noel says, is a welcomed initiative.
I'm glad for the feed, yes, because I would have to go and buy again to keep them up. So right now the little pullets eating any feed. It's not a time for laying, you know that 2 months they will start to lay, so they have to eat layers still. Because really it's the pullet grower, right? You have to give them a developer right now. I used to give them the pullet grower and I can't get the feed. Carriacou is different to Grenada. If the guy sometimes you get the feed he don't have, you have to change the feed. So that's the biggest problem that we face. It's sad to see that you build your thing, years building it, and all of a sudden within 3-4 hours everything gone. Yeah, very large pen, I lose at least, let me see, 1, 2, 3, I had about 15 black tanks. Spend cash money for it, nobody never helped me. Cash money. And watch. You wouldn't see that all through the bush up there, everything gone. So those that good, although I can reach them, I may have to try to get manpower to bring them in. So that's the problem.
Jamie McIntosh, another farmer on the island, says a number of his sheep were lost on his farm.
It was like about 20, 26, 28, somewhere around there. But I'm missing some too. And some died that I had to bury.
So what's your stock like now?
I got about 20 sheep now. Couple of lambs and some chickens.
The distribution of the feed to farmers also came in for high commendation by this farmer who over the past 3 years has invested significantly in the construction of pens for his animals on his 5 acres of land.
We had about 60 or 70 sheep. What dog eat, what kid got killed, what the hurricane, everything we put up there at the moment. As you could see the whole of carriacou and it would drop into what they call it, disarray. I were thinking about getting rid of them pig, but I thought feed-wise, but after going in town a couple of days ago and saw Chris, you know, where we get our feed from and see where we try and keep them. I'm glad for this little help because you're going to help us work to maintain and keep what I have there instead of getting rid of them. The future, none of us know the future. But we need the help. Not only from Grenada, it's from all over the world helping us as a little island. This is not Grenada or Grenada. Grenada is Grenada. But this, well, yeah, this is contribution from the government and the people all over the world who are helping us because of the disaster we've got. I am very, very pleased for it. And whatever they're doing to help us here in Carriacou, Grenada and Peter Martin. I know Grenada didn't get as much, but we got the brunt of it. And I'm very glad for it. I hope everybody is appreciated. Whatever the help that we are getting from whoever, whenever, however. It's not going to be forever, but at this particular time, we are glad for it. I am particularly glad for it.
The head of the Rural Enterprise Unit says Hurricane Beryl has dealt a serious blow to Grenada's food security, with farmers suffering significant loss to crops and access to their farms in the north of the island and Carriacou. During a recent interview with the Government Information Service, Dr. Stephen Fletcher said it is a challenging time for the agriculture sector, with the livelihood of farmers affected.
The areas that Beryl hit were the areas where we had most of our persons, most of our beneficiaries accepting. So, for example, in Carriacou and Petit Martinique, we had over 22 persons there who were providing support for. Each and every single one of those persons have lost every single thing. They have lost the poultry farms, they have lost pig farms, they have lost the vegetable plots, and so on, because everything is on the CMOS producers have lost. So it's a significant loss in Carriacou and Petit Martinique.
He says the unit has been supporting farmers in the north of the island in short crop production, as they also suffered significant loss.
So far we are thinking that, and the assessment is still going on. Let me say this, the damage assessment is still going on, but we believe that probably we would have lost over $1.5 million EC dollars as a result of loss of crops and infrastructure that has occurred since Beryl. So we have suffered a lot in those areas. Not only has the loss been direct from loss of crops and so on, but we also have, and we're experiencing persons who have difficulties in accessing the lands, accessing the plots. So you have fallen trees and so, which quite a lot of work has been done now in clearing it. And credit must be given to the Ministry of Agriculture team and for the farmers.
Dr. Fletcher adds that SIAP is presently assessing the damage to farms in Grenada and Carriacou to come up with the most meaningful solution for farmers.
They provide the food for us. They produce the food, the beans, the cabbage, the lettuce, and so on. They take it to the supermarkets, to the markets, so that we can have. So, so they are severely affected by that. Again, we need to empathize with them. We need to give them support. We recognize one of the first things we got to do is to provide psychological and mental support and counseling. That is going to be an important part of our work. To get them into the right frame of mind, get people back there. And even some of our workers who were not directly affected, but who knew the farmers and the fishermen and so, who are affected, they too begin to feel that sense of loss as well. So that's one sort of assistance we're giving, that we are gearing up to begin to provide. And the other, of course, is helping persons to get back their livelihoods. Right? That one, we have not yet concretized it. In fact, as I speak to you today, we are in the process of completing the assessment, the damage assessment for Grenada. On Monday, a team from SIAP will be journeying to Carriacou. Next Monday, yeah, will be journeying to Carriacou to conduct a similar assessment. But I must add that SIAP has been off the bat rather quickly on this issue.
Finally, the Grenada Cultural Foundation is preparing to celebrate the 186th anniversary of emancipation with a series of activities under the theme, "In the Spirit of Emancipation, we embrace our African identity through our cultural expressions." During a media launch this week, Acting CEO Jacqueline Alexis says the first activity is a panel discussion on July 28th to be broadcast on the Government Information Service.
The panel discussion is all focused around the theme and speaking to the theme. We will have two guest speakers, two guest panelists, and two guest panelists plus two young people. So we're very keen to encourage our younger generation now to really embrace the history, our heritage, and emancipation.
Alexis encourages church leaders to incorporate emancipation into their services in their own unique way.
Also on the 28th of July and the 4th of August, we are encouraging our spiritual leaders, our churches, to hold emancipation services, however they choose to do that, but to embrace the emancipation theme and to hold a service in recognition of emancipation either on the Sunday the 28th or on the Sunday the 4th, so either before or after Emancipation Day. Then on August the 1st, we know is Emancipation Day. We'd like to declare that African Wear Day. So we really want to put this word out to encourage our population to dress in their African wear. So that's whether it's the government ministries, statutory bodies, businesses. We know schools are off, so we can't get the schools involved in that. But as much as we can, if we could get the word out that August the 1st is African Wear Day.
GCF will also conduct an African Wear social media competition. Alexis explained the criteria to win a prize.
It's being done through the Grenada Cultural Foundation Facebook page. And we're encouraging people to wear your African dress, get your friends to take a photo of it, post it on the Grenada Cultural Foundation Facebook page, and then get your friends to like it. So the person who receives the most likes will win a gift.
Arlie Gill, chairman of the Grenada's National Reparations Committee, applauded the initiative of the GCF. He said more needs to be done for the public to understand the importance of Emancipation Day.
How do we as a people entrench the fact that Emancipation Day is the most significant day in our civilization, in our Caribbean, British, West Indian civilization? We celebrate 50 years of independence this year, but have we not recognized that without emancipation, there will be no independence from British colonialism? For us to have independence in 1974, a free people, that 1834 had to happen. So that we continue to struggle. We continue to fight for the relevance of Emancipation Day to be embedded in each and every Grenadian. Much more than the celebrations of days that are far less significant to us as a people. And I don't want to mention Valentine's Day. I don't want to mention Mother's Day and Father's Day, because all of these days may have their significance. But I believe without a shadow of a doubt that Emancipation Day is far more significant than many of the days that we celebrate.
On behalf of the news and production team at the Government Information Service, thank you so much for joining us. I am Chris Ann Mitchell.